All right, so today we're diving deep into something I think we can all relate to.
Yeah.
Challenges, right? Like we all
Yeah.
face them, big or small.
Hmm.
And we've got this really interesting article called Embrace the Unknown.
Hmm.
And it's all about sort of flipping the script, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Instead of dreading challenges, what if we could actually like get excited about them?
Yeah. I mean, that's really what's so interesting about this article, right? Like,
Yeah.
it really challenges the way we think about change.
Totally.
Because it's instinctively we kind of just think, "Ugh, I got to get through this, just endure it.
Yeah, and the article goes beyond just like positive thinking.
Hmm.
It digs into like the actual psychology, right? Like why do we resist change in the first place?
Right. Right.
And we all know that feeling, right? Like
Mhm.
that heart racing, palm sweating
Oh, yeah.
moment when something unexpected pops up.
You're talking amygdala right there.
Oh, tell me about it.
Basically, like your brain's built-in alarm system. But the article suggests that we can actually rewire that response. So it's like, instead of fear, it's...
Possibility.
Exactly.
Okay, but I mean, isn't there more to it than just our biology? Like sometimes change it just plain sucks, right?
Yeah.
You lose your comfort zone, that sense of control.
You're right. It's not just about that initial, like, fear response.
Yeah.
Change often means letting go of things we know and are used to.
Yeah.
And that feels like a loss. The article actually compares it to grief.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I never thought about it that way.
Yeah.
But it makes sense, right?
Mhm.
Like you're moving to a new city for a dream job and it's exciting, but you're also leaving behind your friends, your favorite spots, your whole routine. It's like
bittersweet. Yeah.
totally bittersweet.
Exactly. And by actually acknowledging those feelings, right?
Yeah.
Instead of just pushing them down, we can actually move through them more effectively. And the article suggests that
Curiosity.
curiosity, yeah, is a key.
Okay, now that's interesting. But how does being curious actually help us like deal with, say, a job layoff or a sudden illness, Those are big challenges.
Think about it like this. You know how a kid gets a new gadget?
Yeah.
They're not afraid of breaking it. They're just, how does this thing work?
Right, right.
That sense of wonder, that can fuel our approach to challenges.
So instead of seeing a brick wall, we're looking at a puzzle
Yeah, exactly.
that needs to be solved.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I like that shift in perspective,
Mm-hmm.
but the article actually gets even more specific about curiosity.
Right. It does. It does. Breaks it down into 3 types. Each one's got its own, special something when it comes to problem solving.
Okay.
First one, deprivation curiosity. Remember that time you're binge watching a show
Uh-huh.
and you have to know what happens next?
Oh, yeah.
That's it.
The cliffhanger.
Yes.
Yeah.
That urge to fill in the gaps.
Okay, so how does that help us with actual challenges?
Okay, well, imagine you've got like this complex problem at work.
Yeah.
Deprivation curiosity can push you to gather information, analyze data,
Oh, I see.
really get to the root of the issue.
Okay, the why behind the what.
That's it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so next up is interest-based curiosity. This is all about our passions.
Oh,
This is what gets people like doing deep dives into hobbies, research projects, anything that really,
captivates them.
yes.
Yeah.
Like, I know, like, my buddy who can tell you everything about the history of cheese making.
Oh, that's a good one, yeah. So how does that help us with challenges, though?
Well, it brings a sense of joy and engagement to the process. Even if the task itself isn't fun,
Right.
tapping into that inner passion can make it feel less daunting.
So even if you're facing, like, a mountain of paperwork,
Right.
but if you can connect it to something you actually care about,
Exactly.
it becomes less of a chore.
It does.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
Now, what about that third type of curiosity?
Ah, yes, that's empathetic curiosity. That helps us really connect with others. Think therapists, counselors, even just good friends who can really listen and understand.
That's so important, especially when you're facing challenges that involve other people.
Oh, yeah.
Like if there's a conflict at work, understanding the other person's perspective is huge.
Absolutely. Empathetic curiosity helps us step outside of our own little viewpoint and really consider other people's needs, motivations, their
yeah.
experiences.
Okay, so we've got these 3 curiosity superpowers, right?
Mm-hmm.
But beyond just making us feel more engaged or whatever, how does this actually help us overcome real obstacles?
Okay, well, this is where it gets interesting. Think about the Apollo 13 mission.
Oh, wow.
Textbook example of how curiosity, all the different types,
Yeah.
can lead to amazing problem solving.
Okay, I see where you're going with this.
Yeah.
Like they're stranded in space,
Yeah.
limited resources, Damaged spacecraft.
Exactly. They had to question everything, get creative with duct tape and spare parts, basically invent solutions on the fly.
That's a pretty extreme example.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it does show how powerful curiosity can be. Like, their survival depended on it,
Right.
on asking the right questions
Hmm.
and being open to every possible option.
Yeah, and that's the point here, right? Curiosity fuels that kind of problem solving.
Mm.
It pushes you past that initial panic
Yeah.
into that, okay, how do we fix this mindset?
So it's not just about feeling better. It's about actually being able to deal with the curveballs life throws at you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is all starting to make sense.
Good.
But we can't forget about creativity.
Oh, absolutely not. The article really emphasizes how creativity goes hand in hand with curiosity.
Yeah.
It's about thinking outside the box, challenging the way things have always been done.
And coming up with those, like, aha
Yes.
solutions.
Yes.
And I think it's important to point out that creativity, it's not just about artistic expression. It's a way of approaching problems, you know?
It is. It is. It's about seeing possibility when other people just see limitations.
Right. It's like that saying, necessity is the mother of invention.
There you go.
When we're up against a challenge, our creative juices start flowing.
I like that. And the article highlights how embracing the unknown can actually, boost our creative potential.
Oh, how so?
Well, when we step outside of our comfort zones,
Mm-hmm.
we open ourselves up to new experiences, ideas, ways of thinking.
Okay, but here's something that kind of tripped me up. The article talks about the fear of success
Oh, yeah.
as a block to creativity.
Yeah, isn't that interesting?
How does that even work?
Well, we usually think of fear as holding us back from our goals, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes it's the fear of what might happen if we actually do succeed that keeps us stuck.
So like self-sabotage almost.
Yeah.
Like you're afraid of the changes success might bring.
Yeah.
The responsibility, maybe even just the fear of not being able to keep it up.
Exactly. Like your brain's going, hey, let's stick with what we know. Even if it's not great,
Right.
at least it's safe.
Wow, that's a real mind bender.
Yeah.
But it makes you think, even positive changes can trigger those deep-seated insecurities.
They can. They absolutely can. And it just goes to show self-awareness is so important in this whole process. Like
Yeah.
recognizing those fears, addressing them head on. That's how you unlock that creative potential.
Okay, so how do we do that? How do we break free from that fear of success?
Well, the first step is just being aware of it. Once you see that fear is holding you back,
Yeah,
you can start challenging those thoughts, those beliefs that are limiting you.
right.
Ask yourself, what am I truly afraid of here?
It's like shining a light on those fears
Mm-hmm.
and maybe realizing they're not as scary as they seem.
Exactly. And the more you face them, the less power they have over you.
And having a good support system probably helps too, right? People who believe in you and encourage you to push past those limits.
Oh, absolutely. Surround yourself with people who want to see you succeed.
Yeah,
Remind you of what you're capable of. And that's where those practical strategies from the article come in.
right. Because it's not just about changing our mindset, it's about taking action too. right?
Exactly.
So what are some of those strategies?
Okay, well, one of the most important ones is cultivating what they call a growth mindset.
Mm-hmm. We touched on that a bit earlier.
Yeah, it's all about believing in your ability to learn, to adapt,
Yeah.
to evolve, even when things get tough.
So it's like that shift from I can't do this
Yeah.
to I can learn how to do this.
Yeah.
It's about seeing challenges as opportunities to
Grow.
grow. Exactly.
And that shift in thinking can make a world of difference in how you approach things.
Totally.
So instead of seeing setbacks as failures,
Mm-hmm.
you see them as valuable lessons.
Yeah.
Stepping stones on the way to success.
It's like those video games where you have to overcome all these obstacles to reach the next level.
Yeah.
Each challenge makes you stronger, helps you level up.
I like that, yeah. And even when you stumble or maybe fall short,
Yeah.
those experiences, they're still valuable.
Right.
They teach you resilience.
It's like, what was that quote? I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work.
Thomas Edison, yeah.
It's a good one.
It is.
So it's not about avoiding failure. It's about learning from those setbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we've got the growth mindset piece.
Mm-hmm.
What else does the article suggest?
Well, something else that's really important is asking questions. Don't be afraid to ask why.
Yeah.
To say, I don't get it. Sometimes that simple question, that's all it takes to unlock a whole new level of understanding.
Right. It's like that saying, the only stupid question is the one you don't ask.
Exactly.
So you got to be curious.
You do.
And along the same lines, I think the article also encourages us to challenge assumptions. like both
Oh.
our own and other people's assumptions.
Absolutely. Don't take things for granted.
Yeah.
Really dig deeper, question the status quo, and be open to different perspectives.
So it's like being a critical thinker
Yeah.
instead of just accepting things at face value.
Exactly. And that actually leads to another important point, seeking out diverse viewpoints.
It's like we all have our own blind spots.
We do.
And so hearing from people with different backgrounds, different experiences can help us see things we might missed.
Absolutely. You know that saying, two heads are better than one?
Yeah.
Well, in this case, it's more like the more diverse the heads, the better the ideas.
Love that.
Yeah.
So it's not just about thinking outside the box, it's about expanding the box itself.
Yes.
And I think this next point from the article ties into that beautifully. It's about viewing obstacles as ramps to new territory.
Oh, that's a powerful one. That's a real mindset shift.
It really is. It's like instead of seeing a roadblock, you see an opportunity to adapt, to pivot, to maybe even discover a whole new path
Yeah.
that you hadn't even considered before.
And that's where that sense of adventure comes in. It's like the unknown becomes a realm of possibility instead of this scary thing.
It's like those video games again. Where you got to overcome obstacles to get to the next
I
level.
love it.
Each challenge helps you get closer to your goal.
It does.
And even if you stumble along the way,
Yeah,
those experiences, they make you more resilient.
they do.
They teach you how to get back up and keep going.
Exactly. And the article also talks about how important support and training are when you're facing challenges.
Right. It's not always about figuring things out on your own.
Right.
Sometimes we need guidance, resources,
Yeah.
a supportive community,
Yeah.
especially when things get really tough.
Absolutely. Whether it's like clear instructions,
Yeah.
training sessions, just creating a space where people feel safe asking for help,
Yeah.
that support makes all the difference.
It's like having a team of cheerleaders on the sidelines
Yes,
encouraging you,
exactly.
reminding you that you're not alone in this.
I love that. And, embracing the unknown, it's not just about overcoming challenges.
It's not.
No, it's also about, finding joy in the process.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So how do we do that?
Yeah. Well, think about it. When you're curious, you're more engaged, you're more excited about learning.
Yeah.
And when you tap into your creativity, you can express yourself, you can try new things, you come up with these innovative solutions.
So it's like turning a chore into a game.
Kind of, yeah. The challenge becomes an opportunity for growth, discovery, maybe even a little playfulness.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
So instead of dreading challenges, we can actually start looking forward to them.
Well, maybe not looking forward to them exactly, but
Yeah.
but definitely approaching them with a more positive, a more empowered mindset.
I like the way you think.
Yeah.
So it's all about that shift, right?
Mhm.
From fear and resistance
Yeah.
to curiosity
Yeah.
to excitement.
Exactly. And the more you practice that, the more natural it becomes. It's like training your brain to embrace the unknown,
I love that.
to see challenges as adventure.
Adventures, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm already feeling more inspired. But before we get too carried away, there's one more point from the article that I want to make sure we touch on.
Oh, okay.
It talks about how our emotional response to change, it can actually be similar to grief.
Yeah.
We might feel loss, sadness, maybe even anger
Right.
when we're forced to let go of the familiar.
That's so important. People often try to just ignore those feelings,
Yeah.
but acknowledging them, that's actually what helps us move through change in a healthy way.
So it's like giving ourselves permission to grieve what we're leaving behind, to honor those feelings,
Yeah.
and then gradually shift our focus to what's ahead.
It's like saying goodbye to an old friend,
Yeah.
You might be excited about new adventures,
Mm-hmm.
but there's still that little pang of sadness as you close that chapter.
Beautifully said.
Mm-hmm.
And I think just like with grief, time and self-compassion are key, right?
They are.
Allow yourself to feel those emotions, to process them, and then gradually move towards acceptance.
And having a good support network can make a big difference too.
Oh, yeah.
Talking to friends, family, even a therapist.
Mm-hmm.
It can help process those feelings, get a fresh perspective.
It's like that feeling of knowing you're not alone in this,
Yeah,
that other people have gone through similar stuff and come out stronger.
exactly. And sometimes just hearing someone else's story can be enough to give you the courage to keep going.
So it's not just about embracing the unknown. It's also about embracing the support and connection that can help us through those tough times.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think that's a good place to pause for.
Okay.
We'll come back and dig into some real-world examples
Oh, yeah?
of people and groups who put these principles into action.
Awesome.
So stay tuned.
Okay, so welcome back. Before the break, we were talking about how, acknowledging the emotional side of change, even the tough parts, can help us actually move forward. But now let's get to the good stuff, like those real-world examples.
Yeah, the inspiring stuff.
The article highlights some pretty amazing stories, huh?
It does, it does. And it's not just about those like grand achievements either. It's about those everyday moments,
Yeah.
where curiosity and creativity lead to those little breakthroughs.
Okay, so the article mentions Albert Einstein,
Mm-hmm.
Marie Curie, and of course the Apollo 13 mission.
Yeah, classic examples.
So let's start with Einstein, right?
Yeah.
The guy who, like, redefined how we understand the universe.
Right.
But was he just, like, born a genius?
Mm.
Or is there more to this story?
That's what's so cool. Einstein wasn't just brilliant. He was like relentlessly curious, always questioning, exploring, poking holes in those like accepted norms.
So it wasn't just about smarts. It was about that drive to figure things out.
Exactly. Like going beyond the surface level,
Yeah.
always digging deeper. It reminds me of that quote. The important thing is not to stop questioning.
Well, that's a good one.
Right. That's what fueled his groundbreaking theories. He never lost that like childlike wonder.
I love that. A world-renowned physicist.
Yeah.
Still approaching things with that kind of, like, kid-like curiosity.
Exactly.
Okay, but what about Marie Curie? She made these, like, incredible discoveries in a field that wasn't exactly, welcoming to women back then.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, talk about challenges, gender discrimination, limited resources, you name it. But her curiosity, rock solid. She was determined to understand the world around her, even when the odds were stacked against her.
It's like her passion for science, it was like her fuel.
Mm.
And it led to those groundbreaking discoveries in radioactivity.
Not one, but 2 Nobel Prizes.
Exactly.
Amazing.
Talk about a testament to the power of following your curiosity, right?
It is, even when it takes you down a tough path.
Yeah.
The rewards can be extraordinary.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've got Einstein's relentless questioning,
Mm.
Curie's unwavering dedication,
Right.
and now, for like the ultimate example of teamwork and out-of-the-box thinking, we've got the Apollo 13 mission.
This one's a classic, right? You've got astronauts stranded in space, damaged spacecraft, limited oxygen. The whole world's watching.
Talk about pressure.
Yeah.
But what's amazing is that instead of panicking, they, like, leaned into the challenge.
They did. It's that perfect example of what we were talking about earlier, right? Turning fear into fuel for problem solving.
Yeah.
They had to get so creative, using whatever they had on hand to come up with solutions.
It's like they MacGyvered their way back to Earth
Yeah.
using duct tape and cardboard and a whole lot of ingenuity.
It just shows you, even in those crazy high-stakes situations, curiosity and creativity, that's what can save the day.
Totally.
And it's a testament to collaboration, too.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't give up. They pooled their knowledge, and they figured it out. They made it work.
It's a truly inspiring story.
Yeah.
It shows what humans can do when we work together and refuse to give up.
It does. It does. And I think it's a reminder that we all have that potential for creative problem solving within us.
Right? We might not be facing life or death situations like Apollo 13, but those same principles, they can apply to everyday challenges too.
Absolutely. Work projects, tricky conversations, even just figuring out a creative solution to, like, a household problem.
That's all about that mindset shift, right?
Yes.
From I'm stuck to I'm going to figure this out.
I love it. And the article actually gives some practical ways to do that.
Oh, perfect. Like what?
Well, one of the most powerful ones is cultivating that growth mindset we talked about.
Right. Believing in your ability to learn and grow,
Right.
even when things are tough.
Exactly. And that's a skill, This is
Yeah.
something you can develop.
Go ahead.
Instead of saying, "Ugh, I'm not good at this," you say, "I'm not good at this yet."
I like that little tweak in the language.
Yeah, right.
It opens up the possibility for improvement.
Exactly.
Okay, what else?
Well, another thing is asking questions.
Oh, yeah.
Don't be afraid to admit you don't know something.
Right.
Sometimes the simplest question can lead to a whole new understanding.
Yeah.
And that actually ties into another point, challenging assumptions.
Oh, interesting.
We often make decisions based on what we think we know, but those assumptions, they can really hold us back.
So it's about being willing to, like, question the status quo, to dig deeper, to consider those alternative perspectives.
Exactly. And that leads to another key strategy, seeking out diverse viewpoints.
Right. It's like acknowledging that we all have blind spots.
We do.
And hearing from people with different backgrounds, different experiences.
Yeah.
It can, like, open our eyes to things we might have missed.
It's like, You don't know what you don't know.
That's true. The more diverse our sources of information are,
Yeah.
the more well-rounded our understanding becomes.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So it's not just about having a growth mindset yourself, it's about creating a growth environment,
I like that.
surrounding yourself with people and ideas that challenge you.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, and there's one more strategy from the article that I absolutely love.
Oh, which one?
It's the one about viewing obstacles as, like, ramps to new territory.
Ah, yes. That's such a good one. It's all about shifting your perspective.
Instead of a dead end,
Yeah.
you see a launch pad for new possibilities.
Yeah. You turn that what now feeling into, okay, what's next?
Yes, exactly. And it reminds us that sometimes the toughest experiences,
Mhm.
they lead us to the most unexpected and rewarding places.
They do. They do. It's like when one door closes, another one opens.
Right.
But sometimes we have to create our own doorways.
I love that. And that's where creativity comes in, right?
Exactly.
It's about finding those unconventional solutions, those detours that maybe lead us somewhere even better than we initially imagined.
Absolutely. I'm feeling inspired just thinking about it.
Me too.
It's like that whole obstacles are opportunities in disguise thing is starting to make so much sense.
It really is.
And the best part is these strategies, they're not just for those huge life challenges. You can apply them to anything.
Right, like that work project that's driving you crazy,
Mhm.
writer's block, even just figuring out what to make for dinner.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that you have more power than you think. You can choose how you respond to things.
Yeah.
And that choice, that makes all the difference.
So it's not about avoiding challenges altogether.
Right.
It's about having the tools and the mindset to deal with them effectively.
Precisely. And that's what this whole deep dive is about, empowering ourselves to embrace the unknown
Right.
with curiosity, creativity, and a sense of possibility.
Okay, so we've talked about a lot, huh? From like the psychology of change to those practical tips for boosting curiosity and creativity. But now I'm like ready for some more inspiration. Those real world examples, you know?
Yeah, me too. I love hearing about people who didn't just face challenges, but actually used them as fuel for growth, for innovation.
Right. So we were talking about Einstein, Curie, and the Apollo 13 mission. And even though they faced totally different obstacles, they all kind of share that common thread of using curiosity and creativity to navigate the unknown.
Exactly. And it wasn't just random moments of brilliance either.
Yeah.
These folks, they cultivated a mindset of embracing challenges, always questioning, exploring, experimenting.
So it's not about waiting for the light bulb to go off. It's about actively creating the space for those aha moments to happen.
Exactly. That's what made these folks so incredible. They didn't just solve problems, they changed the way we think about the world.
Okay, let's rewind a bit and talk about Einstein again. It's so easy to put him on a pedestal and think, well, he was a genius, of course he could do all that.
Right.
But the article's saying it wasn't just about raw intelligence. It was his curiosity. That was his superpower.
Absolutely. He was constantly asking why, why.
Yeah.
He challenged those accepted theories of the time, and that's what led to some of the most groundbreaking discoveries in physics.
It's like he just never lost that, that childlike wonder,
Right.
that sense of awe and fascination with the world around him.
And honestly, that's something we can all cultivate. Doesn't matter your age or what you do. It's about staying open to new ideas,
Yeah.
embracing the mystery,
Yeah.
and just letting yourself be surprised by what you find.
So instead of getting stuck in routines and familiar stuff, we should be actively looking for those I wonder moments.
Yes. Those little sparks of curiosity, those are often the starting point for some pretty incredible journeys.
Okay, Einstein's story reminds us to never stop asking why. Now, what about Marie Curie? I mean, she was up against a whole different set of challenges.
Oh, absolutely. Navigating a male-dominated field, limited resources, you name it. But her story is just incredible.
I know.
Her passion for science, it was so strong. It pushed her through all those obstacles.
Yes, her curiosity was her superpower,
Mm,
It fueled her resilience.
it did.
She wasn't stopped by a lack of support or societal pressure or anything like that. It was this pure desire to understand the world around her.
And that's what led to those incredible breakthroughs in radioactivity.
Right. And that was a field nobody even knew about back then.
Totally uncharted territory.
And makes you realize that embracing the unknown, it's not always about having a clear path forward. It's about trusting your gut and, diving into those uncharted waters.
Absolutely. Trusting your intuition. And, her story still inspires scientists today,
Oh, yeah.
especially women in those STEM fields, to, push those boundaries and challenge the status quo.
Okay, so we've got Einstein's questioning spirit, Curie's unwavering dedication,
Mm-hmm.
and now for the ultimate example of teamwork and
Yeah.
thinking outside the box under
That
pressure.
was Apollo 13. Never gets old.
Seriously. I mean, imagine being stranded in space,
Yeah.
damaged spacecraft,
Yeah.
dwindling resources.
Talk about pressure.
But they didn't panic. They just embraced that challenge.
They did. And it shows just how powerful collaboration can be.
It really does.
Mhm.
It's like their survival depended on their ability to tap into those reserves of curiosity and resourcefulness.
Exactly. They had to question everything, try those unconventional solutions. They basically MacGyvered their way back to Earth.
And they did it. It's such an incredible story. It shows just how resilient humans can be
Mm-hmm.
and the power of that we can do this attitude.
Absolutely. And, we might not all be facing those life or death scenarios,
Right.
but the Apollo 13 mission shows us that even when things seem impossible,
Yeah.
there's always a solution waiting to be discovered.
And that the journey, those twists and turns,
Mhm.
those are all part of the process.
They are. They are. Even if you don't end up exactly where you planned,
Yeah.
you're going to learn something valuable along the way.
So basically, challenges are inevitable, right?
Mm.
But they don't have to define us. We can choose to approach them with curiosity, creativity, and a sense of possibility.
Beautifully said.
And who knows? Maybe those challenges will lead to amazing discoveries.
Breakthroughs we never could have imagined. So to everyone listening, we'll leave you with this. What challenge are you facing right now? How can you use even just one of these ideas we've talked about today to shift your perspective? What question can you ask to spark your curiosity? What creative solution might be waiting just around the corner? Keep exploring, keep questioning, keep embracing the unknown. And until next time, thanks for joining us on this deep dive.